Welcome, welcome. So we are here with my client Jason, who has gone through the Slow Living Solutions Foundations program and has successfully completed his stress management strategies and set some new goals for himself that he is well on his way to accomplishing. So we're here to talk about what his experience with Slow Living Solutions has been like. And let's just start off with some context. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, Jason, just to give some people an idea of who you are and what was going on in your life that brought you to work with Slow Living Solutions?
Yeah, so my name is Jason Dreyer. I was a director of federal delivery and I'm a senior technical recruiter. I recruit on IT positions within the federal government. I kind of came here because I was just having a hard time managing stress. There was a lot of change going on in my life and I needed to kind of figure out my next step. So I obviously decided to work with Slow Living Solutions.
Awesome. And how were you feeling at that time when you first got here? Can you describe that a little bit for us?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely stressed. I was all over the place. Like I mentally couldn't think. I couldn't really follow through with anything. Like I would start something and then stop it and move on to something else because I was just scatterbrained and all over the place.
And so what were you hoping to accomplish by joining Slow Living Solutions and doing the Life Crafting Foundations program?
Obviously kind of speaks for itself, but just kind of mapping out my life because I've always felt, hey, not that I'm not supposed to be here, but I never really had like a long-term plan or solidified plans. And then just kind of working through you and working through your company, I was able to kind of figure out what my next steps were. And, I was able to take some grad classes. I got a new job. So things have definitely improved.
And how are you feeling now that you have gone through the program and had some of these quick wins underneath your belt?
I mean, I feel more calm and at peace, and it's kind of, I've definitely kind of adopted the mentality of the only thing that's going to stay the same is change, and change is always constant, and you have to be okay with that, and you can't have the past be solidified, and you can't have the past carried over.
That's awesome. During the Life Crafting Foundations program, what was the real turning point for you? Or were there some nuggets that we went through together that really stand out in your mind?
I mean, I think one of the decisions was going to grad school was a big one. And I think just, finally being open and 100% transparent about everything that was going on in my life definitely made that a lot easier. So I would just say, be transparent and open about everything.
Did you find it was particularly helpful, as you were sort of hashing through, we started off the program talking about just who you fundamentally were and where you
Mhm.
came from in your past and things like that. Do you think that helped in providing a sense of direction or helping you? How did that influence your decision making?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff of going over who I am, I already knew, and then I definitely uncovered some stuff along the way and throughout the process of oh, okay, I actually am this type of person, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I shouldn't do that, and stuff like that. So it definitely helped in the decision making arena.
And how did you start implementing the changes that you identified in both your mindset and your behavior that were holding you back?
I mean, I was definitely giving myself more breaks throughout the day and taking a step back from work because I was just kind of my all-consuming and basically my entire personality. So just kind of taking a step back, and when I'm shut down, I'm shut down, and when I'm on and working, I'm working, and then kind of just leaving it at that and stuff like that.
So what did you discover about the balance that you had in your life when you started and how you were identifying with your job versus how you feel about it now?
I mean, I didn't have any balance when I first started. That was the problem. I was just work, work, work. And now it's just I identify myself as a person and my career are two completely separate entities.
That's I remember when we started and so much of your headspace was that, like your job had defined so much of who you were up until that point. So it's like so amazing to hear that you see how that's only a part of who you are now, and that you can give fully to that, but within reason, so that you are not neglecting like your personal life and your family life and your community as well. And
Oh,
that,
definitely.
and who would you recommend, like if you were to recommend slow living solutions, like who do you think would be like an ideal client, or like an ideal like archetype of a client that should, if you were interested, what qualities should they have, or what should they?
Yeah, I mean, I would say honestly, anyone could benefit from, but probably someone, my age or a little bit older who's going through a transition and just trying to figure out their next step. I definitely think those are a very great outlet and tool to have. So, I mean, just kind of anyone going through a lot of changes or one big change or two big changes, I would definitely recommend.
What do you plan to continue doing post your work with slow living solutions, that you think you'll continue on from your practice?
Journaling, taking a step back, giving myself breaks, just kind of continuing on. And I know, and then, probably in 3 to 6 months, having a checkup call and stuff like that. So something along those lines.
Any other thoughts that you have about your experience that you'd like to share?
No, I mean, other than it was a great experience, it's one of the, probably best, therapeutic, or I guess however you want to call it, outlets I've had. So I highly recommend it to anyone who's going through some struggles and is trying to figure out, what their next moves are in life, professionally and personally and academically.
What do you think has differentiated this experience from, say, like going to maybe more of a traditional therapy?
I think there was more of a holistic approach. It wasn't just like directly trying to fix a problem. It was taking a step back and being like, okay, like who are you? Like what experiences have you had? And it's like, okay, now we're going to talk about the issues, and then the issues would be, X, Y, and Z. So I think just having a more holistic type of approach.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for your time today, and for sharing your experience so that other people know what to expect as they start onboarding. And I'll look forward to us reconnecting for your checkups in the next few months.
Sounds good.
Okay, great.